can see the chat this time. Hello, my squishies. Hopefully all is going well. This is take 2 of the live stream. Don't quite know what was happening. Hopefully somebody, hold on, just gonna text tech support. I'm going to pretend that this is totally working fine and just carry on, and hopefully someone can comment that they can hear me, they can see me, that all is going well. So, hello my squishies. It's the first felt along of 2025, which is scary and exciting to say, and we're doing a slightly different format today as well. So today I don't have one planned, because today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to plan and design your own one. What am I talking about? Your own picture, your own felting, which is very exciting. So I'm just waiting before I properly start. I'm waiting on somebody in the comments saying that they can hear me or saying hello, because I'm seeing nothing at the moment. So I'm still slightly concerned that it's not working. I can always edit this out in post. Yes, I'm being seen. I have confirmation. That is confirmation. Excellent. Okay, let's do this. I'm excited. Are you excited? Okay, so we've got a few caveats before we start. The picture that all is okay. Excellent. So we've got to look into how we're going to pick our picture. It's finally clear. Yes, thank you. I have no idea what went wrong, but just restarting the program fixed everything. So fingers crossed. Yeah. So we're going to, so tonight we're going to look at how to choose a picture, how to copy it onto felt, how to, oh hey Ruth, Happy New Year. Also, hey Preeta, is that how you say your name? And how to felt it. So we're going to start with a picture. So when this is a very embarrassing one of me, but this is a picture I took on was taken of me on the Isle of Iona. And when I was picking this picture, there was a few things I was looking for. So I want something that's not overly complicated, that's got nice big bold shapes, and is very readable. Because especially for the first picture you translate into felt is you want to be easy on yourself. So a nice simple with nice shapes is what we're going for. You can see I've got the sky, I've got sea, and I've got beach. I can easily break it down. If there's lots of different areas and lots going on, that's going to get confusing. And we don't want to make life hard for ourselves. So that's a few things we need to look at for choosing a picture. And then translating the picture. Before you start, you need to understand the most important bit is that we're not trying to copy this exactly. Your picture is not going to look like, how do we distinguish them? Your felt picture is not going to look exactly like your photo. If you want it to look exactly like your photo, I would kindly suggest to print out your photo and put it on the wall. But if you want it to be your interpretation of your picture, then that's what we're going to do tonight. So this, what we're going to come away with at the end of this, it's not going to look exactly like this. And am I worried? Not in the slightest. I'm going to change things. If, say, this picture is a little bit overcast, but I want my felt picture to not be overcast, I'm going to do that. The sand's a bit, I'm probably going to make the sand a bit brighter. There's me in the middle of it. That's not staying. That's entirely going. You're not going to see that in the final felting. Yeah, readability is because, so we've talked about choosing I'm going through this reasonably fast, but I will circle back to all these things as we're going. So we've chosen our nice simple picture. We've accepted that it's not going to be exactly the same. Now we need to do a little bit of fun stuff. So I'm going to aim to put my picture in this frame. So I did a little bit of behind the scenes magic, and when I printed it out at roughly the right size. You can do that in most photo software, like when you're printing. You could even, if you have a big enough tablet, you could literally do this with a tablet rather than a photograph. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take a bit of paper. And I'm going to take the inside of this frame, lay it on the paper, and with my handy dandy Sharpie or any other pen will do, I'm going to draw around very roughly. It does not matter if it's wonky in the slightest. Draw around my circle. In fact, I only needed to draw around a quarter of the circle. Fold it in half and then follow this line and cut a circle. Now, this circle does not have to be perfect. This circle is not entirely in half. Don't worry. Tonight is it's not about being perfect. Look, it's out. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take this circle and my secret ingredient. Some people say this is cheating. I don't care. I'm going to cheat. This is a plastic file. You know, the kind you get in your... When back in high school when you were studying, you'd have plastic files. So I'm going to pop this in the file. And this is a sacrificial file. Although it doesn't have to be. We have options to make it not a sacrificial file, but I think it's going to be a sacrificial file tonight. And so you can see that this is the size that we're wanting. And oh, didn't think about how fuzzy it's going to be on camera. That's fine. So now I'm going to work out my layout before I do anything else. So there's different, in inverted bunny commas, rules with laying out. So you can like have it half, you can do it in thirds and half. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move it around. So do I want it with lots of sky and a little bit of beach? Or do I want it lots of beach and a little bit of sky? Doesn't matter if your picture doesn't go right to the edge. Even we could do it, like we could make that the center and fudge that bit. All these bits are fudgeable. I think, do I want it there or, yeah, so I want the sand to be roughly, yeah, I'm going to make an interesting sky, so I'm going to aim for that being half, that being half. Now, this is the cheat bit. I'm going to take, if you don't want this to be sacrificial and you want to be able to redo it, you can do this in whiteboard and then just wipe it off. But I'm afraid I'm going to make a horrendous mess, so I'm going to do it in Sharpie. And I'm going to draw in the outline of the major shapes. Does that make sense? So I've got my nice straight horizon line that goes there. We've got our wiggly island, and then we've got this nice sort of curve there. It goes there, there, and there. This goes in, down, and there. So let's see it without. So that's, it looks scary, it looks confusing, doesn't it? But don't panic. So we've got our nice shapes. Exactly. So some people would say this is cheating. I don't think this is cheating. This is just being a genius and making life easy. So I'm going to thicken up my lines a little bit because the next step we need slightly thicker lines. I'm even going to make that a little bit more rounded. Thicken up there. Oh, I got distracted. That goes up there. Perfect. There we go. We have a beautiful wiggle. And now I'm going to take my bit of felt, which I pre-drew the circle on this. I'm going to assume you're fine with me having pre-drawn the circle. And hopefully you can see through to the line below. So I'm just going to really roughly, so I've got that line there, wiggles down there, around there. This is getting a little bit, that goes up there, that goes there, wiggle there. So we have, again, super roughly translate. In fact, that goes up a little bit. So it doesn't matter at all if you need to move your lines. And then that actually goes round and round. So I'm going to take that round and round. Now we have wonky smiley face. Oh, I forgot my island. The island's in the middle. That's fine. And we've broken that picture down into very basic shapes. And that's done. Let's start taking colours and putting them. That was the hard bit. I thought it was going to take me ages. It doesn't, because I normally do this in Photoshop. Cheating. Don't tell anyone. So I'm going to leave this as a reference here. So if you guys have joined me before on the felt-alongs, what do I always say? I'm going to start from the back and work our way forwards. So the furthest away thing is the sky. Now, in this sky, it's sort of light blue and then it gets a little bit whiter closer to the horizon, but it's still a bit grey. So I'm going to brighten it up a little bit. I want it to be slightly more blue sky. So I'm going to take my blue and I'm going to assume that you have felted before. If you're designing your own felt along. If you haven't watched one of my other videos, and we'll go into slightly more detail about how one of my other beach videos, and it'll properly describe how to felt. I'm going to pop in my sky. Tack that down. And I have a confession to make about this. I'm not quite ready to confess it yet, but I will soon. I want to put a little bit of darker blue. So that was dream blue, and I'm going to put a little bit of wave blue higher up just to give it a little bit of perspective. And I'm going to use a little bit of this white for right at the horizon line to give, oh, I'm hiccuping, to give it a little bit of depth. And to make some sort of little cloud. So this is slivers that I'm just pulling apart and tacking them down. There we go, we have sky. I'm not spending too much time on each bit because I want to build up all the colours, and then we'll go in and put in little details and things. So we're going to take it reasonably slowly. Nope, opposite, reasonably quickly. This sea is a lovely green in this photo, but in other photos I've got of it, it's like this amazing turquoise blue. which is my favourite sea colour. So I'm gonna, even though it's nothing like it, gonna use this one. Because if it was brighter, the sea would be more of this colour. So I'm gonna lay that just around there as the base, because the rocks I want to be kind of on top of this base colour. And you see, I'm not like worrying about following my lines exactly. I'm keeping this reference close. The picture's there. It doesn't matter if I go over the lines a little bit. We can refer back to it. But what I am going to take from this is that the sea is lighter at the foreground. There's some little dark bits in the middle where it's sort of rock formations, and it's darkest furthest away. So I'm actually going to take this. That's a nice, yeah. Also, I feel like the nonsense tonight is minimal. We don't have a robin. Normally, oh yeah, I probably should have said this at the beginning. Please feel free to pause, mute, rewind. You do not have to listen to my nonsense, unless you're watching me live right now. Then tough, you're stuck with me. So I'm going to layer these colours a little bit. Just again, we're not doing too much just now. I just want to get all the shapes in. You see that it's almost like I've put the saturation up. In fact, I could have done that in Photoshop and just popped the saturation. Now we're going to do the beach, because I'm going to put the rocks kind of on top of the beach. So I'm taking Tusk. This is essentially what I do normally on a Friday afternoon before our live streams. I'm taking the beach around there. And wherever the sea is touching, you can see it here, the sand gets darker as it's closer to the wet edge. So I'm going to take, I'm actually going to take this one. What's this one called? This one doesn't have a name. Oh, and if you have any questions, please pop them in the comments. Or if I'm going too fast, you can just slow me down. And then the last bit is the rocks, and then we're going to start adding in all the little details. So when you see painters, they block in all the big colours and then go in afterwards and add details. So that's what we're doing just now. We're laying down our base that then we're going to go back in afterwards and block it in. So I'm going to pop in my island there, because again, working back and going forward and starting with the darker colours and then adding light on top of it. So I'm just going to take a little bit of brown. I feel my space feels very messy today. I don't know why. I think it's the New Year energy. And if you want to, so say like in your picture, you've got this island, but it's too small. You'd like it bigger? Make it bigger. If it's too big, make it smaller. I'm going to place it there and only really loosely felt it in, because I'll see if I definitely want it later on. And then the browns round the side there, we're going to get. Do I want to go straight with the dark? feel it. Yeah. Yeah. So one thing, this is useful advice. One thing to do is to look at something from an odd direction or in a mirror and just have a look at individual little bits. And don't see what you think is there, but see what is actually there. So looking at this, it's darker there. There's a dark bit there and it's light down there. And there is a little dark bit there, so I could do a nice little swoop to give it some texture. Also, don't be afraid to move about in your picture. Let's put that little dark swoop in there. Yeah, I like that. There we go. And again, with the sea, you can see, looking at it upside down, I can see it's darker there and then getting lighter. And the rocks as well. So where the rocks were being hit by water, I'm going to do a dark... Oh, and this will look messy at this stage. Do not panic. So I'm putting in a dark rock, going a little one going there, and I'm going to have the bigger one coming round there. And again from this side there's one there, and then there's a blob there. The technical term. Ooh, I haven't, that goes all the way to the edge. I've not copied that across. So this photo was taken on the day that me and my friend Kelsey went across to Iona for the day to pick up Iona wool. The sea was so choppy. When we were trying to get onto the ferry, the sea was coming up and round like the ferry ramp, and we thought we weren't going to make it onto the ferry because we were having to jump over the sea to get on. And we were also slightly afraid that all the wool was going to blow away because we were just carrying these massive boxes of wool off the island. It was such a good day. We got to see the lambs that had just been born. So I'm really excited to keep this as a memory. I might even give this to Kelsey. She might want me to put a picture of me in it. Nah. So I've got one rock there. And then another patch just down there. What time we are? Halfway. Going well. So that's going to be a patch of rocks about there. So again, I'm just putting in the darks just now for the rocks, not... Well, now I'm going to put in the whites, the lights. Not the lights, but I am. So I've got grey. Are they grey? So the rocks are more this beigey colour. Do I want to stay true to the photograph, or do I want to go with a nice safe grey? I think I want to go safe grey. What do you guys think? Because I have a darker grey as well. Yeah, I'm going to go for the safety of greys. Because like I said, I'm not trying to copy this photo exactly. So if something I'm not sure will read correctly when I put it into the felt, I'm not going to do it. So I feel like if I did this green, it would look like I was trying to make it grass. But I'm not. So I'm going to go for the dark. Welcome to my brain. Today's stream is basically me rambling nonsense while I design a picture. if you would like to see more of this, I apologize because I'm never going to do this again. But you guys have been requesting this for a while, so we're going to go with it. So I'm going to fill in the tops of the rocks, and then again, I'm not being too worried about stuff just now, because we are going to put in loads of details later on. I just want to get the shapes and colours in. That one goes up a lot higher. Welcome to my brain. And now I'm going to double check with the frame how it's looking. Everything's fitting in nicely. Okay, I think it's time for some details. And this is when it's suddenly going to come together. So don't panic, especially just now, if it's not looking absolutely perfect. And tonight, we're going to have a little bit more fun than, because this is not going to be a kit. Normally when it's a kit, so I make these for kits, I have to be limited in what colours I put in, what different materials I put in. But tonight, because this is fun, and this isn't being a kit, I can use different bits of yarn and scraps I have lying around, and I'm going to do that. So I'm going to take my handy dandy box of white scraps, and so this is old bits of yarn that I collect into boxes and I put into pictures. So I'm going to use this to make some waves. So where the sea is hitting the shore, you can see there's little waves, wiggly bits and bits around. So I'm going to start filling in them. There's also a rock that I've missed right there, but I think I want to put that in. I think that would be interesting. Kind of just, there we go. So we're gonna pop some waves there. I'm always afraid that my head gets in the shot and you can't see what I'm doing because my head's in the shot. And where did my scissors go? So there's some nice little, so it's like piles of wiggles there. I'm going to pile up some wiggles. And again, I'm still not felting stuff in really thoroughly yet, because I reserve the right to be wrong and to change my mind and to put stuff in different places. That kind of comes around there. That's better. Yeah, I think I like that better with two. There we go. The waves are kind of going to come around that rock there. Yeah, I like that. Let's pop in a few more waves. We need some waves crashing around the bottom of those rocks. So the closer up waves I'm going to use 2 for, and the further away, well, I should be explaining this. So the way yarn is made, it sometimes, or most of the time, is 2 or 3 strands that are spun together. So when I'm using it in my projects, I have the option to undo some strands and to just use single bits. Or you can use the whole thickness. So for the further away ones, I'm going to use single ones. So wherever these rocks are getting, like there's a big wave crashing there. So I'm going to do a big amount there. And again, there's a nice big area there, showing off how stormy it is. I really love pulling apart yarn because it does make, it's got a natural wave to it when it's been spun together, which translates quite nicely as waves or as trees. In fact, I really love using it as trees, and I'm a little bit sad that there's not trees in this picture. Could I put a tree in? I could put a tree in if I wanted to. I think that would overly complicate stuff. There we go. And there is, I like this rock just there. So I'm very tempted to put that in. I don't think I'm going to put, am I? Yeah, no I am. I'm going to add those rocks in. Thank you. Welcome to my brain. I reserve the right to be wrong. I reserve the right to do it. To change my mind. And basically, I'm just playing. This is great fun. This is what I do during the day on my own normally. Because I have now, because I've had this wonderful Christmas time off with the shop shut, I've managed to get so many felt pictures finished and ready for sale, like the finished picture. So I've just been doing this the whole Christmas holiday, and it's been wonderful. Yeah, I need to put, so even, how do I put this? So even though sometimes these rocks in the pictures don't necessarily have white around them, it anchors them in the picture really well if you do. So I'm going to sometimes cheat, if that makes sense. Don't worry, these rocks look messy just now. We haven't started fiddling with them yet. The other exciting thing that has been happening over the Christmas holidays is I've been getting ready for the new shop. In about a week and a half, I said that out loud, a week and a half, I'm hopefully getting keys to the new shop, and we'll be moving to a high street level shop that is just along the road from the current shop, and I couldn't be more excited. Scared, nervous, but very, very excited. Okay, I like those two rocks there. I like my wiggles. That's coming together. My island needs a bit of structure, and I'm gonna, again, cheat, because I love it. Cheating is not the right word. I'm not using the right word. I'm gonna use the tools that I have available to me. What? And spill them all over the floor. I'm gonna take some brown yarn. That's a nice one. Oh yeah, that's a really nice one. That's some of my hand spun. Oh god. And I'm going to use this as the island. So because it's nice and chunky, I'm going to cut it on an angle. So that gives it and I love this. Again, Oh, hey Penguin, Happy New Year! Don't worry, you still got 20 minutes. And this stream has mostly been me going, do I want to do this? Maybe I want to do this. We are designing. So we're taking a picture and we have designed it. And you're seeing me live and my brain processes turning it into a picture. So the really lovely thing about using yarn for things like rocks and trees and waves again is the plying, because that just gives it so much texture that I have done absolutely no work to achieve, but yet looks fantastic. I'm going to give it a slight curve on the edge, cut that again at an angle, because it is, yeah. There we go. So all those little highlights and textures that the yarn just naturally has have been translated, and your brain sees them as bits of rock. So I'm also going to in the picture, there's no white below the far away one because it's super far away. It's just got this dark shadow. Actually, I don't want to fold that over. I'm going to let that go that way. Cut you on the angle again. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it as a dark shadow. I'm so tempted to do a little white line underneath it for the waves. And I might go back and pop that line in. I was right to change my mind and be wrong. And we're going to do the same as we've done with the island. I'm going to do that with these rocks here. Now, the reason I do like a base layer of the felt and then put yarn on top is because if I was just to put the yarn on top, in fact, let's show you. If I just put the yarn on top, and once you've felted it in for ages, small gaps will appear and you can see through the gaps. Especially when I use my machine felter and I fire them through that. You see all the wee gaps between the individual strands. But if I've put down base layers, that doesn't happen. So for the rocks, we've got two different colours of brown. I might even use a third or fourth. So where the rocks hit the sea, or the, not the beach, just the sea, I'm going to lay down the darker one. And then where it is slightly lighter on top and drier, so this has got a nice angle up to it, so I'm going to make that angle. And again, just I know we're cheating so hard using, not cheating, I'm gonna have to stop using that word. We are using what we have available, but the using yarn does make such gives it such great textures. Like the difference between that and that already. I've got like the striations and the lines. Perfect. Yeah. And any good crafter or craft hoarder in my case, you'll have bits of yarn lying around, or even full balls of yarn. You can chop tiny bits off. It's not going to make that big a difference, but it will make a big difference in your felting project. So if I obviously don't do it for shop yarn, But in my personal stash, if I just want a little bit of green and I have a full ball there, I'll just chop a little strand of it. So this one has got, this one here is kind of lots of little lumps below it as well. So I am going to add them in. Oh, and if you come into the shop and just need a tiny bit of a specific colour, I probably have it in one of my boxes, and I'm more than happy to let you rummage through the spare yarn boxes. And if you're here for craft group, which is epic fun, these boxes come out and you just get to play with them. So there's a nice sort of straight rock there that I'm going to pop. Nice. I'm going to do the same again for this side. Taking my dark at the bottom. And then the lighter on top. Oh, I haven't done it's because Robin's not here. I blame Robin for this. I haven't done the YouTubey things. So if you guys, I would very much appreciate it if you could like the stream. Leave a comment, even after the fact, pop a comment in. Like, subscribe. What else do I have to say? Comment. All these are amazingly appreciated. We're almost up to 2,000 followers now, which is amazing. And I really appreciate it. And I love seeing you guys here. Well, I've lost my brown. It's on the floor. That'll do. And so Robin, who I'm currently bemoaning not being here, also has a YouTube channel. She has, my brain is gone, Feltaholics on YouTube, and she does amazing felting tutorials that are much more put together than mine are. And also the other nonsense maker, Sylvia's not here. She is Yumi and FVPPP, I can never remember the letters in it, on YouTube, and she does lots of quilting tutorials. If Mum and Dad could pop in the comments a link to them, that would be much appreciated. Also, thank you to Mum and Dad, who are now officially am I allowed to say this? Officially retired. So the gap, the join between this and this is a little bit too strong for me. So I'm going to take just the tiniest bit of brown and that's better. Oh, and you can definitely put fibre, tops, roving, fluff, whatever you want to call it, over the yarn as well. Don't be afraid of that. So now I need, having a look at the white there. That's the wrong white. That's the wrong white. There's subtle differences in the white. Going to put a little bit there. And again, I'm seeing it's coming out and going that way a little bit. What time are we at? Oh, we've got 10 minutes. So this is not going to be finished tonight because, as I say on all my streams, don't finish it tonight. Do as much as you can before your eyes get bored and tired, and come back in a day or two with fresh eyes and just stab all over for 15 to 20 minutes before you finish it. I'm also not going to show you how to put it into the frame tonight, because I'm assuming you've already done a picture. You've watched one of my other videos. Normally I would show you, but I kind of want more. Yeah. Would you have believed, like, this picture is different from what I've got here, but I mean, I think it's better. Am I allowed to say that for my own picture? I will pop a photo of this on to the Facebook group when it's finished. I might even, on our next live stream, yeah, on our next live stream, I will show you the finished picture in the frame. But I'm going to do 2 minutes of felting just all over, and then go in and do a few more details. And while I'm felting all over, I'm going to tell you my confession. For all these years I've been doing this now, which is many, I've always said I hate the holder, the yarn hold, the needle holders that have multiple needles on them, because it's really hard. You don't get, it's just not the same. I've always just liked holding multiple needles at the same time and stabbing over. And in the tidy, I found this one. And I was like, ugh. I mean, I don't want the whole, this holds 8 needles in here. I don't want the whole 8, that's too much. But I wonder if I could just put 3 in a line, because I like having the line. I like being able to direct things like that with the line. And I did. And I love it. I think I need to design on my 3D printer a needle felting holder that holds 3 needles in a straight line, which is a very specific thing to making these kinds of landscapes, but really it's so nice. Yeah, put yarn in your felting. That's my okay, I've spotted a not a mistake, but I want this rock to be further out. But it can go down. There we go. I know you might see a little bit of the blue through when I felt it, but I'll just cover that up. There, ooh, that's nice. I like that. Now, do I want to move this island slightly more to the left? Yeah, 3 in a line, because all the 3 are 3 in a triangle, which doesn't work for me. 3 in a line is so handy for making pictures, nothing else. I want to extend that little bit of water. Yeah, so when I'm not working, I now spend my evenings in 3D software just playing and designing things that I can make on my 3D printer machine. And yeah, I will get a 3 needle in a line holder. I want to move this island a little bit to the left. I feel it's now too close to there. So I'm going to do it. Ha 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 ha! The joy of felting. That's better. Oh, that sits a lot nicer in my head now. Excellent. They have been very busy, considering they're supposed to be retired. Okay, have I missed anything else? Is there anything else? So I've taken away essentially some of the rocks just to make it translate. The magic is it's a moving island. There's definitely some mythological islands that move. I've taken away some of the like extra noise. I'm not trying to recreate exactly what is in the picture. I really want to stress this so much, is that we're not trying to recreate exactly what you see in there, in here. That's not going to happen. This isn't the art form for that. This is the art form for simplifying slightly, letting it be creative and playing with textures. And yeah, so not stressing about things. Let's see if this will work. I want some just like tiny rocks, I think. And you can move stuff around. I will stress this. I'm going to stress this again. Move stuff. It doesn't have to be exactly as you see it in the picture. Because if that picture was taking 2 steps to the left, that island would be more there. Okay, let's pop here. I was about to stab the scissors and oh, that worked. That worked! Okay, I may have revolutionized my scissor game. Just stab the scissors into the mat. It works perfectly. Oh no. Okay. So, it's still very fluffy. I know it needs a lot of work. But I'm going to pop it. I think I hear a peanut coming back up the stairs. So we may have to run away very quickly. I'm going to pop it in the frame and see how it's looking. Oh, I can see it needs felting in a lot more because they're all quite fluffy. But I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah. I'm not going to do any more tonight because my eyes are getting tired. I'm not seeing stuff. Ooh, I'm going to do a little bit more tonight. I've probably got 1 minute. But I'm really happy with that. It's not an exact copy. It was never going to be. But it's a wonderful interpretation. One thing I am going to do is, so I'm not just using white, I'm using the slivers to fade in. Oh, yeah, that's a very good point, Penguin. You don't have to. How do I words? I can't words anymore. It's been an hour of me talking nonsense. I haven't spoken to anybody in a week. How do you know when your picture is finished? Is when you decide it is. If you want to leave it fluffy, you 100% can. I like to felt mine thoroughly because I know they're going to be in the shop. They're going to get a lot of rough touching and they're going to need that little bit more stability. But you don't have to, especially if it's going to be behind a frame, because you can frame these. You don't have to felt stuff out. You can leave it nice and fluffy and have that as an effect that you're going for. Just adding more of these wonderful, this slivers as well makes wonderful waves because it's just do I even want you to just as if you're coming round? Yeah. Yeah, that puts it perfectly. Puts it perfectly, Penguin. Oh, I love that sentence. Yeah, when you decide it's done, it's done. If you don't think it needs any more, yeah, it's done. Yeah, so that is my Iona Island. We photoshopped myself out in felt. I think Peanut should be back from the pub any minute. I am actually, until I hear the door go, I'm going to continue being live. I think I need... No, I think that rock's fine. That rock needs more rocks around it is what it needs. And I want to put a couple more rocks there. So, last year, oh my god, it was last year now. I was so excited about Peanut bringing me the pizza back from the pub. And do you know what I did with that pizza? I put the pizza on the top of my car to give Rosie a lift home. And I did not take the pizza off the top of the car before I drove off. And was absolutely devastated. So Rosie's bringing me another pizza this week. And we are definitely not going to leave it on top of the car. Or else I'm going to cry so much. It was so funny. We drove, like we got to the end of like the next street from where I parked and we both, or Rosie remembered, I'd completely forgotten. And we drove back and it was just dead and it was flattened in the middle of the road and it was gone. Well, it wasn't, it was there. I was like, right, I'll pick it up on the way home and put it in the bin. But by the time I'd dropped Rosie off at her house and then I drove back along that way, it had disappeared. So either some very happy seagulls had got it or some very happy drunk people. It was that time of the year. Oh, I hear a Peanut. So that I'm going to sign out. There we go. Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun. I will see you in 2 weeks for another adventure. Once this is finished, I will pop it on Instagram, on the Facebook page. Yeah. Thank you, my squishies. I'm going to go and definitely enjoy my pizza this time. Oh, I can't because I've lost my mouse. It's underneath a pile of yarn.